Hi. I'm sick. My throat, it's broken. I don't know what happened. So this is the most that I can do today, and I'm really sorry about that. I put out a community post asking for you guys to ask me questions, and I'll do my absolute best job at answering them. But anyways, let's just get into this. I'm also gonna try to not answer any like fluffy questions because we all know what my favorite color is. It's Shrek. So by far one of the most asked questions is what I'm going to do after university. And to be frank with you, I have no clue. I know that I like physics. And honestly, this is gonna sound really pretentious, privileged, and spoiled, but I just want to sit and think about why the universe is the way it is. I know for sure I'm not gonna be a professor. Dad, I'm sorry. I don't really deal well with people. Probably realized that already. I have like 2 friends, both of which are my parents. When you first started your channel, how did the people you knew in real life react to it? I get this question a lot. When I started my YouTube channel, I didn't tell anyone. If you want to do it, I cannot stress this enough, just do it, because you will end up regretting not doing it. And if you love it, if you truly love it, you won't care what anyone else has to say. Another question that I got asked a lot was, how's university going so far? I've only had 2 weeks of university so far. I can't really make a good judgment based on that, but so far it's only really been high school review. I haven't learned anything new yet. So I'm excited for when that comes. Have you ever considered doing art for a living? I paint more as a hobby just because I think it's fun. I just slap some paint on a canvas and see what happens. So I think if I turned it into a job and tried to monetize my creativity, that's not gonna work out for me. I mean, I already do this with YouTube, but I think it's a different type of creativity. What is your opinion on VSCO girls? Let me explain, okay? I used to have a Swell. I dropped it approximately 3 billion times, and something broke in it. I shake it and there's like little pieces of metal. So I decided, you know what? I need an actual water bottle. We're getting so off topic. I was asked about VSCO girls. Okay, first it was e-girls, then it was baddies, and now we're at VSCO girls. Where does it end? It's all the same thing if you really think about it. You know, I thought the whole thing was trying to get rid of stereotypes, but we keep on doing this. At the end of the day, it's just teenagers being teenagers. Sponsored by Brandy Melville. But anyways, let's keep going. I've been meaning to ask you this question for a while. When will you get a goat? Well, actually, I am a goat. The greatest of all time. When did you start eating avocados? When I was 8 years old, my mom freaked out because I wasn't growing at all. So she made these awful, horrendous, putrid, grotesque protein shakes with avocado blended in, and it was disgusting. I hated it. I would go to bed dreading breakfast the next day because I would have to drink that darn thing. So one day, my 8-year-old self was tired of this treatment and this oppression, and I went up to my mother and said, you know what? Take that avocado out of my gosh darn protein shake. And then she forced me to eat it raw, and I liked it, so that's where it started. Hey there, Jarena Killiams. Are you moving out of your house in order to be closer to the university you're going to? No, I'm living at home. Living on campus, although it seems fun, I honestly think that moving into a new home, coupled with the novelty of studying at a university, is a very big change for the 18-year-old teenager. You know, you suddenly have to worry about laundry, feed yourself, clean yourself, wipe your butt, while also managing a hectic schedule. Yeah, I might just like live in a hole or something. How do you deal with stress from school? I don't. I pull out all the stops and just see what happens. How does having a YouTube channel affect your everyday life? The best way to describe it is that I sit down once a week, film a video, edit it, and then my life is pretty much the same as everyone else's for the rest of the week. There's definitely the distraction that this poses, but I've found ways to cope with that, you know. I put my phone and computer and everything electronic in the other room and lock it in there. How did you get sick? The bees. John Cena, will you ever dye your hair an impulsive color? Of course I will. We've only just touched like the tip of the iceberg with this whole hair thing. I have so many other hairstyles and hair colors to try. I'm just waiting for this to grow out and for me to get over it and for everyone else to just kind of get used to it before I deal another blow in the hair department. Lots of things up my sleeves, if you know what I mean. How many pairs of shoes do you have? Excuse you. The other question that I got asked a lot is how I balance school and YouTube. It all comes down to one thing, which is just limiting the amount of time I spend on social media. Social media truly is a toilet, and you have to know how to use it correctly, or else you will sit on that thing for hours. Why don't you have your license, and do you think you'll ever get one? I actually really need to start doing something about that. I'm 18 years old, and I haven't even started the process. My parents are from Brazil, where the legal driving age there is 18. So first off, they weren't too okay with me driving at 16, and second of all, I just didn't have the time to study for the test or practice driving at all. Do you like Brazil? Would you move here, and is your whole family from here? Answer in Portuguese if you can. Thank you. I get an insurmountable amount of requests on a daily basis to make a video speaking in Portuguese, and the thing is, my Portuguese is not good enough to make a video. I understand everything perfectly. Speaking, I have a very thick accent, and I don't know vocabulary enough. My parents speak to me in Portuguese. I talk back to them in a English-Portuguese hybrid. Now, the second part of the question, do you like Brazil? I love Brazil. We just came back like 2 weeks ago. It was so much fun. I hadn't been there in like 8 years. The beach too. It was winter time, but we still got to go to the beach and enjoy ourselves, which is nice. I have so many questions about university in Canada. Is it expensive? Was it hard to get in? Did you have to take the SAT? In regards to expensive, per year for an undergrad degree, it's about like 7,000 Canadian dollars. That is, of course, if you're not paying for a dorm and a meal plan. Now, in terms of difficulty to get in Canada, we don't have Ivy League schools, and there are no standardized tests. As long as you just do well in high school and you have like the minimum average for the program, you're fine. Do you have any tips for living sustainably? Over the past year or so, I've tried to only buy clothing from sustainable brands. Aritzia is a sustainable brand. I don't know if you heard it. Other than that, I try to buy organic foods as much as possible. Why are you a literal clone of your mom but look nothing like your dad? It's because he's adopted. What is something that no one would know by only looking at you? I can actually see without my glasses. Do you still like The Walking Dead? No, I don't. When they killed Carl, they really killed the entire TV show. Who the heck was behind that decision? Fire them, please, because they're clearly incompetent at their job. Like, what the heck was he thinking when he did that? Are you kidding me? That's not even possible. Carl, the guy with not even one eye. Did you ever consider putting an avocado in your bootleg mac and cheese?
No,
How do you feel about the Logan Paul versus KSI rematch? What? They're doing that? Can YouTube, like, fold itself up and throw it in the garbage, please? Now that university has started, how many people have recognized you? Actually, a lot of people recognized me at school, and always a sweet experience. No one's been, like, rude to me yet. If you see me in public, please don't hesitate to come up. I'd much rather you do that than do one of these, because I'm really not gonna bite. Well, if you're careful. If you would go back in time to your first video, what would you change? Everything? I'd say the first like 10 videos are extremely off character for me. Now, obviously I'm keeping them up because I want people to know how my channel started. It's not even like I'm making money off of them. They're all demonetized for copyright. But I've changed so much since my first video, and I realized that, you know, I don't need all that heavy editing to be funny. I can be funny on my own. Did you deal with girl drama in high school, or did you avoid it? I stood to the side and watched all the hell break loose. You know, I was just doing my thing, especially when YouTube came around. I still was unpopular. People knew, oh, that's the one with the YouTube channel. I just did my own thing, and it was good. Have you ever had a baby with anyone, and if so, how old is it? I didn't think I was that fat. Any plans in the future of getting boob implants? No, I love my tiny boobs. They're so convenient. Like, I don't understand what the hate with small boobs is. I barely fit into a Victoria's Secret bra. I'm not even kidding. It's great, and I love it. And you should too if you have small boobs. How did you find Don't Call Me Angel by Ari?
let's
let's begin. I have no issue whatsoever with Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande, or Lana Del Rey. I like Lana Del Rey. Like, I even have her vinyl, okay? She's amazing. I love her. However, I think the combination of all three of them together really did not tickle my pickle. The song itself is bad. The beat behind it, it sounds unpleasant. It's not a comfortable sound, you know? Their voices didn't really match together, if that makes sense. Lana's part, what the heck was that? I mean, objectively by itself, if it was just a song, it would have been beautiful. I said this on Twitter that I didn't like the song, and everybody got mad at me. If that's the case, then we need to work on the definition of an opinion. But again, if you like it, I'm making it very clear you're allowed to like it, and I won't stop you from liking it. It just means that I don't like it. All in all, not for me, but I applaud the effort. So, how do you stay so positive? From your videos, you seem like a very content person. That's a good question. I guess I just try to look at things very neutrally, if that makes sense. I don't overreact to the goods, and I also don't overreact to the bads. Also, I just try to keep myself busy. I don't spend all my days on social media, as I've said before. I get out of the house often. I'm constantly trying different things. But that's kind of what, like, every Dr. Phil episode has ever told you. So, when are you moving out? When I start to smell bad. What's your favorite type of bean? Mr. Bean. What's your favorite type of beetle? Paul McCartney. Is your refrigerator running? Yes, and I have to catch it. Harry Potter or Percy Jackson? That's not even a question. Of course, Harry Potter. Listen, all respect to Percy Jackson, but it's not the same as Harry Potter. I only read it because everybody would not shut up about it, and I needed to know what the hype was about and, you know, make my own opinion on it. Feel free to disagree with me on this. Sometimes I think too much is happening, you know, like the author tried to do too much with the storyline. I'll use the first book as an example. There's certain things that happen in the plot that I just didn't see were necessarily relevant to the story. You know when they got stuck in that casino hotel thing? How was that relevant to anything? The minor ramifications that it did end up having, it could have been done in a much easier way and kept the story more concise. I feel like when there's too many things happening like that, it kind of distracts you from the plot of the story. Homo? No homo? I'm guessing you mean homogenized milk. In that case, no homo. Dear Joystick Calcium, I enjoy your videos very much, and I was just wondering how long it takes to edit each video. It takes me about 5 hours to edit all the raw footage together, and then I have to write the script for the voiceovers, and that is by far one of the hardest parts, because you have to make sure that what you're saying lines up with the footage that's being played. You can't just like write out the butt and hope and pray that it works, because most of the time it doesn't. Usually you have to write 4 words for every second of footage that passes by. So if I have a minute of footage that I'm planning on voicing over, I have to write 400 words. Usually my videos have around like 3 minutes of voiceover, so I end up having to write over 1,000 words for each video. It's a lot, but I enjoy it. Mostly. Will you consider having a date with Shawn Mendes? Not gonna lie, I've outgrown my Shawn Mendes phase. It lasted 2 weeks, but my mother hasn't. She's obsessed with Shawn Mendes. She loves him. She loves his music. Mr. Mendes, if you're watching this, my mother loves you. So, if you could eat yourself, I would start with the arms. Hi, Joanne Sedis. Have you ever had a negative experience because of YouTube? Thankfully, no. I found that usually the people that say nasty stuff about me online don't have the balls to speak to me like that in public, so I have yet to experience something like that. I'm almost 100% certain that once in my life, something unpleasant will happen. In that case, it's free speech. You're allowed to do that, you know, as long as you don't attack me, I will gladly welcome your criticism. The fact that there is no flavored shampoo fills me with rage. Why is it that there's no bottle of flavored shampoo? You know, I want to disagree because as far as I know, flavor's subjective. Cheers. God says, Joanna, over here. Where did the thought of bleaching your hair come from? It looks absolutely marvelous, but I just want to know how you pulled it off. The short answer, Madonna. The long answer, Papa, don't preach! I've been losing! The iPhone 6 isn't getting the new iOS. What phone are you gonna upgrade to? When this one dies, I will bury it, and I will get another iPhone 6. I don't know what idiot at Apple decided to get rid of the headphone jack. I'm not dealing with the dongle business, okay? Headphones are underrated, hands down. Do you want kids? Growing up, I always assumed that I would end up like everyone else and have kids, but then I turned into a teenager and realized that if I was to raise myself, it wouldn't happen. I would kick myself out of my house if that was the case. The only circumstance that I will have kids is if they are 100% self-sufficient and 100% mature right out of the womb. When you walk out of my vajayjay, you better change your own diaper. You better get your own milk. Respect, please. Okay, we're not doing this crying business. Use your words. You can walk to school. Driving, you know, we'll strike up a deal with the Illuminati. They'll arrange some sort of driver's license for toddlers. Would you ever shave your head off? Of course I would shave my head off. Like, my head is such an inconvenience. It's always getting in the way. When I work out, my head just like swings back and forth and I don't know what to do with it. It's itchy. I hate it so much. The color is awful. And that's all the questions we have for today, my dudes. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. I'm sorry once again if this isn't what you wanted. We're almost to 3 million subs, so you know what's around the corner. I love you so much. Stay funky, stay spunky, and stay spicy. And I'll see you in the next one. Toodles.